right, well, here we are again with a few more minutes with the Curator, and he's got a really special treat for you guys today. Well, Dad, what exactly is this thing?
Well, this is a 1.5 ton truck that's been modified to carry a heavier load. So in order to do that, you have to have another axle. And to put another axle on, you want a heavy load. The frame's not heavy duty enough. So you have to beef the frame up. You put a U-channel beam around the outside of the original frame.
Right.
You can see it on the other side, a double layer U-channel.
Well, we'll get some stills of that. Put them up.
And then you put air brakes on it.
This is actually the nose clip that goes on this truck.
You run the U-channel way back here. Go back here past the rear axle, so you can put another axle on it.
Let's get a look at that. Oh yeah, wow, those are some serious springs too. Now, what's with the linkage here?
What's with the what?
This linkage here. What does that do?
That distributes the load. This axle, you don't drive to the job on it. You hook it up on this hook here with a chain. So you back up against the bank.
Okay.
You back up against the bank. That raises this rear axle up. And that axle is called a tag axle. It just tags along and it's not driven by a motor. So you back up against the bank and this axle goes up in the air, and then you hook it on this hook. There's a hook on each side with a chain. And then Trucksmore is a company that made this. I think it was out of Chicago. And it's linked to the front springs. This floats up and down.
Right.
And this arm makes it go up and down when you hit bumps. So this axle, rear axle, is a square tube, real heavy duty square tube, and it's inside this transfer case or transmission case. You can loosen this nut right here and put oil in it.
All right.
And that makes the rear axle flex with a heavy load. And then in order to stiffen it and keep it from chattering, you don't want to chatter, so you put a spring on it, spring tension. So that's these two springs in here.
Right.
That are linked like a bicycle chain onto the rear axle.
Okay, yeah, to lift it up into a driving position.
That transfers the load, keeps the spring going. Now the axle's a square tube down here, and it just floats up and down. Then when you get to the job, you back up against the bank and unhook the chain and set this rear axle, the tag axle, on the ground.
All right.
That gives you 2, 4, 6, 8 tires. It's called a tag axle truck, and it's beefed up here on the frame. It's longer, so you can haul twice what the truck used to be, like a 1.5 tons, and now you got 2 times that, which is 3 ton. So it's a 2.5 ton version, and all this addition was put on here by Trucksmore.
Boy, look at the punking on that thing. Wow.
Well, that's a 2-speed. Well, that linkage even goes up here, a stabilizer pipe goes up here and hooks onto the frame.
Correct.
And that goes all the way back through.
Oh yeah, it does.
Now when you pull into a job, you might get stuck or might have trouble, so you want to pull the whole truck.
Well, how would you do that?
With a bulldozer.
That's probably about what it would take to yank this heavy son of a gun out.
You push backwards if you're pushing it in.
Boy, look at that front
muddy
bumper.
road.
Now,
This is
there's
made
a
to-
tow hook. Holy cow, look at that.
It was made to haul big logs. So the roads are kind of muddy. And if you get stuck, you got the load on top, you got your 2.5 ton or better. Then you hook onto this with a big cable with a bulldozer and you pull it down the road.
Oh, there's the
until you
mama.
get the good ground or a good road, and then you can go to the mill. And this got a flathead Ford V8 in it. It's a 85 horsepower,
Wow.
and it drives the whole truck. This is probably a 46 or 47. It's got the standard hood on it. It's kind of beat up from pulling it in and out of the woods. So they probably used it on a farm and didn't care if they had headlights or not.
Right?
It's 5 holes, so it's a local truck, been modified, and a heavier frame. We got a hook on the front, and you got the Trucksmore attachment on the rear end with the tag axle. Now, when you want to go down the road, you back up against another bank and you elevate the rear axle,
Right?
hook it on with a chain. I don't know how you do that when you're a single guy with a steering wheel trying to back up and hold it. You must have to have an assistant hook it up for you.
Shotgun rider,
So
so to
it's
speak.
got 10 tires on it. You got 8 on the dual axle, and the rear end is heavy duty. Real heavy rear end.
Real heavy, that big 2-speed, yeah.
Yeah, 2-speed.
Well, that's really an interesting old truck there.
Yeah, the problem was you wanted to haul a bigger load to the mill, so you got a better payload per trip. And
Right.
made a bigger profit.
Sure. All right.
That's a tag axle truck. It's the only one I have.
Tag axle,
Truck.
Truckmore. Upgraded
Ford,
about a 46 or
46,
47 Ford.
47
Ton and a
Ford.
half to a deuce and a half. Well, this has been another few minutes with the Curator.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dad.
Yeah,
We'll do
you're
this
welcome.
again.